Good afternoon and welcome to Auchterarder Common Good Fund Committee of the 22nd of May 2023. First item on the agenda is appointment of convener. Do I have any nominations, please?
Good afternoon. Could I nominate Councillor Keith Allen, please?
Thank you. And do we have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Councillor Allen, would you like to join me at the top table, please?
Good afternoon and welcome to the meeting of the Auchterarder Common Good Fund Committee for the 22nd of May 2023, and welcome especially to those watching online and those who are here today. Clerk, can you confirm any apologies and take a roll call for those members who are joining virtually? Thank you.
Thank you, convener. We have apologies from Councillor Lang. We've got Councillor Reid online, who we've heard from, and all other members are present in the chambers.
Thank you. Do we have any declarations of interest? Okay, we have no declarations of interest. That's helpful. We have the minutes of the previous meeting, which was held on the 4th of October 2021. Can these be approved, please?
Approved.
Are there any matters arising from the previous minutes? Applications for financial assistance. Mr. Haxton, can you please introduce the report? Thank you.
Yes, happy to do so, convener. We have one application today from the local Rotary Club. It's an application for £12,000 for a memorial garden to be developed on Killarn Drive opposite the police station on the junction with the High Street, in memory of a local pilot who was born and brought up in Alyth and contributed during the Second World War. The total costs are estimated at a little over £20,000. Some funds have already been sought and approved, and they have other pending applications waiting decision. They are seeking £12,000, although they have identified a total funding gap of a little over £9,000. We did ask the, sorry, did I say Alyth? My apologies if I said Alyth, just coming out of the Alyth meeting. The remaining funding gap is a little over £9,000. They have requested 12. We did ask the applicant for clarification as to why there was a difference in those figures, but to the best of my knowledge, and I looked to my colleague Jacob, we didn't actually get a response. So we have to go on the basis of the application, which is for £12,000. We're happy to take any questions that committee members may have. Thank you.
Do we have anybody representing Auchterarder in this application? Okay, I just wondered if there may be something to speak to it. Do we have any questions about the report? Councillor Carr.
Yes, one question. At the Community Council meeting held on the 24th of January, the Rotary Club did a presentation regarding this. They estimated at that time that the costs would be somewhere between £13,000 and £15,000 and intimated that they would be submitting a request for £10,000 to the council. Can any of the council officers let me know why if they have any knowledge of why that has jumped from 15,000 to 21,000, and also whether the RAF Benevolent Fund, who the Rotary Club were meant to be also approaching, whether they were forthcoming with any funds at all?
It's a very short response, I'm afraid, not a particularly helpful one. The short answer is no. We've not heard anything regarding their attendance at the Common Good Fund or why the figures have increased. We're operating purely on the basis of the application that was sent in. I know that Jacob had some conversation or exchange of emails with them. Anything you can add to that, Jacob?
No, nothing helpful to that card from those conversations.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions? Councillor Reid, you have a comment to make. Councillor Reid, are you with us?
So sorry, could you bear with me? I'm on the phone to Dr. Grant. I'm just getting some clarification. Can I come back to you in a couple of minutes? No,
you'll need to be quick with that couple of minutes, Crawford.
I've just clarified with Dr. Grant, who was the person who put in the application. He assures me it's always been 12,000 from the Common Good.
Councillor Reid, have you finished on your telephone call?
I have, yes.
I've
just clarified with Dr. Grant that it was 12,000 that they applied for, and that's what they've always applied for this fund.
Yeah, the difficulty that I think we have just now, Crawford or Councillor Reid, is that we've got an application for £12,000 and a justification for £9,300 of that. I think that's part and parcel of what Councillor Carr had brought to our attention. So, are there any other questions? No. So in that case, we have a decision to make as to whether the funding request can be agreed or we make an alternative recommendation. Is anybody prepared to make a recommendation other than granting the £12,000 request? Councillor Carr, thank you.
Thank you. I was just being my first Common Good meeting. I would like some advice, possibly from maybe Lee Haxton, with regards to procedure when the funding gap is less than the requested amount. Is there a precedence that's normally in place with regards to this?
Well, ideally, of course, when we ask the applicant if they can explain why there's a difference in the figures, they would provide information that would give us that answer. Unfortunately, that's not come in. I would reassure members that, as with all Common Good funds, this application would be paid in arrears. So no grant would be paid until evidence of spend, invoices, receipts, etc. was provided. So almost by default, a Common Good grant is an up to amount. So committee could decide to make an award of up to the £12,000 that's been requested, and then the officers would see the evidence of what the costs were after that had been incurred. And if it's less than the £12,000, then they get less, if that makes sense.
Thank you for that clarification. On that basis, are we still of a view that we should not look at £12,000 and look at 9,300, or can we agree on the £12,000 application?
If I could ask a further question with
Please go
regards
ahead.
to that, because this is obviously, it's not a sole application. They do have additional funding coming in, which obviously creates a percentage of funding towards that. Would it be the case that although receipts coming in, it would be a pro rata basis, that if receipts coming in, obviously that would be less? Would it be on a basis percentage wise based on the application, or would it just be a case of the amount that we agree to today, and that would be the full amount?
I'm not sure if I quite follow the question, but the any grant paid out would be purely on the basis of the evidence of spend that's provided. And we do check in with applicants who have outstanding applications with other funders to see whether or not that has been successful, because of course that would impact upon the funding that they might need to draw down.
No, thank you. That's exactly the answer I was looking for. Thank you, Lee.
Are there any contributions or any objections to granting the funding request of £12,000 today? Councillor Reid.
Thank you. I'd just like to propose that we offer the £12,000. It's a very worthwhile local cause, and it's really what the Common Good Fund should be supporting. I'd like to support the full amount. Thank you.
Any other comments? Any other questions?
If that's a motion from Councillor Reid, I would like to second that.
In that case, with the application agreed unanimously, oh, I can't even say that, unanimously. Are there any other comments? Therefore, can we further comment, Councillor Carr?
Yeah, no, I would just like to echo the comment from Councillor Reid with regards to this project. It's looks to be a very worthwhile project, and I'm sure a garden there would bring a lot to the area, not just the ability for people to meet and chat, but also some of our younger people in Auchterarder to give them the history behind Sandy Gunn and his contribution to the Second World War. I think it'd be a very worthwhile project.
Thank you for those comments, and I would like to mirror them. Not quite sure what the protocol is as convener, but being very aware of the project, its request through the Community Council, and have now come to full council asking for this funding, and I fully commit to helping them along the way as well. Thank you. Can I now ask Craig Robertson to introduce the financial statement and budget, please?
Thank you, convener. We issued an elected member briefing note out on Friday, which provided an update on the financial position for 21-22, as this was the first meeting of the Auchterarder Common Good since October last year. So what that shows is how the opening balance of 293,544 in 22-23 has come about in activity in 21-22. Is there any questions on the briefing note for 21-22? What we'll do is we'll go into the financial statements for 22-23. As I said, the opening balance was 293,544. There was one amount of £10,000 that we're still projecting for financial assistance, which was agreed at the meeting on the 4th of October, and that was £10,000 committed to the Auchterarder and District Sports Hub. So we're projecting that expenditure in 22-23. But rents and fees of just over 21,000, and we're projecting interest earned of 2,727. So that gives us a surplus, a projected surplus for the year of 12,124, and added to the revenue balance takes the balance as of the 31st of March 2023 projected at £305,668. Is there any comment on 22-23? No. 23-24, there is an options paper there to do with the replacement of the Christmas lighting, and it's whether you do a phased replacement over 2 years or you do a full replacement in 23-24. So if you do a phased replacement over 2 years, we're projecting a deficit on the fund of 4,600. And if you do the full replacement in 23-24, we're projecting a deficit of 14,600. So my ask of the committee is, what option would you look at, or is there any other option you'd want us to investigate, whether it's over 1 year or 2? And based on what option we would project that you would be on budget going forward, irrespective of which option you take. So it's really across the committee to decide whether it's the option 1 or option 2 that they would like to go for.
Questions? Councillor Carr?
Sorry, speak.
Just a quick question is if there would be any logistical issues around doing it over 1 year or 2 years, i.e. in regards to the ability to do it within 1 year with manpower, etc.
Lee? Okay. Can I ask, do you have any particular recommendation as to the best course of action, 1 year or 2 year?
I suppose if it's over 2 years, you're obviously going to generate more interest on your fund because you're not spending as much, and when interest rates are high, you will generate more interest. But the flip side of that is if you bought it all in year 1, you wouldn't have any replacements or technical issues with the equipment that you've got. So if you're taking it over longer term, there's more risk to things not working, and you might have to buy additional equipment. So it's really a balance. But from an interest earning point of view, obviously the interest rates are high just now, so you maybe don't want to commit all your funding at this point in time.
Councillor Carr, have you anything else to ask? Councillor Reid, do you have anything you'd like to ask or add?
Yeah, my comment just follows from what I've heard. I mean, we're not, the fund is quite a sizable fund. We're not going to be in any way depleting it significantly. And if it means we've got more efficient lighting if it's done over the 1 year, I would just go for do it over the 1 year.
Again, if that's a proposal from Councillor Reid, I would second that.
As convener, I would recommend that we go ahead and do it over the 1 year, and hopefully that's agreed by all. So, can we agree that gets carried? Okay. I think that's the business.
The only thing I would say, so you're happy with option 2 as your budget going forward, that'll be your starting point for the next meeting.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you. Now we can finish. Okay. Thank you all for your time. Meeting's closed. Thank you.